Thomas and his doing his stuff.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It's Coach Eileen here. Welcome to Break Free with Digital Business with my co-host, Rod. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Coach. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me as usual. Hello, everybody. So we're here again. This time we're doing this on record because we want to make sure that we can move this to multiple platforms that way. Okay, so before anything else, we would like to let you know that this week topic is Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. We were just inspired because our coach and mentor, coaches Dave and Roxanne, managed to do their debt-free scream this week. And we're so inspired, and we thought, you know what, better way to leverage the success of them by, you know, helping others who have no idea what we're talking about, be inspired as well. Bro, you want to say something about this topic of ours?
Well, it's just so excited to see that our leaders who are leading us, because sometimes you have leaders that doesn't lead by example, but Coach Dave and Roxanne is more than leading by example because they have now set a bar for us to go after. And it was such a exciting time to see them being able to accomplish so many things. And it gives us the hope and the encouragement that if God can do it for them, then he can do it for us because we're in the same business, we have the same strategies, we have the same proven system, and they too will also give us the strategies that they use to implement to become so successful. And it's such a huge honor to be coached by them.
I know. I was like, I keep telling everybody, I can't get over it. It's like so surreal. I can't imagine how they feel about it, right? Because it's like a vision board moment coming to life, and being with them since the beginning. It was really like, I was so happy for them, and I know it's been in their vision board for a long time. And sometimes people will think, "Well, what is vision board, right? What is goal planning and goal setting?" But these people really follow through with what they wrote, what they posted on their vision board, and really took action in making sure that they get to this. One of their vision board moment was to, do their debt free scream. And finally they did it, and I'm so happy. Congratulations again, Coach Dave and Roxanne, for doing this, of course, for yourselves, reaching this goal of yours, right? So today, for those who it's funny because last week we talked about breakthrough, right? Like break free from our job, and when do we know when we're there. But this time we're gonna do the steps, right? This is very popular by Dave Ramsey, right? So yeah. Okay, so let's get started. But before that, we just wanna let you know why we're doing this, the purpose of this go live episodes is that we want to educate and inspire, hardworking people just like you and me, like, with the same people who have big goals and big hopes in their lives for their family, that you guys can start this side hustle even while you're working full time, and without missing anything like their milestone, right? So, or your family activities. And yeah. Okay. So, bro, want to introduce yourself first before we move on to today's topic?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Everett Edwards, originally from the island of Jamaica. Now living in Ontario, Canada. I'm a father, postal worker for over 13 years now. and I'm also a digital online business owner and mentor. And thank you so much once again for joining us.
Awesome. Okay, so it's my turn. This is the first time you're seeing me. My name is Eileen. I was born and raised in the Philippines and now living here in Alberta, Canada with my family. I'm a wife, a mom of teen and early childhood educator by profession, and I am a business coach and mentor in this digital business. Okay, so today's topic, as I've said, is the money makeover. And then, so here are the five key things that we're gonna discuss. Maybe probably you wanna go on with the first one, which is to save $1,000 fast. Other people will say this is not enough because of inflation and everything, but it's up to you, right? So yeah.
Okay, so step one, as we indicate, is to save $1,000, whatever your currency is, um, because looking at the idea, it's considered now as a emergency fund because you don't want to just continue to be paycheck to paycheck without any shelter. So this $1,000 that we're encouraging you to save, it's what they call a baby step one, where you make sure that at least $1,000 is there. If you are able to do more than 1,000, you can go ahead. But we're saying make sure that you have at least $1,000 safely put aside in an account, especially one that you don't touch, because we have different. Because
Yeah.
to have it is one thing, but to keep it is another. So the encouragement is, if you're going to do this baby step one, is to also make sure that it's kept somewhere, that it's not the checking account that everything comes out of, but it's an account that you don't even visit even for a while. It's there, and you are going to make sure that you don't touch it any at all. So you try to live off the rest of your income and make sure that that 1,000 is there, and it will be now considered as your emergency fund that you will probably later go. But for now, just make sure that is there and you don't touch it.
That's right. Sometimes it's hard, right? Oh, and they said, not everything is emergency, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love that top. That's kind of like an emergency because it's on sale right now. it's
Oh
gonna, it's funny because the other day I was like, I went with my business, our business partner, she's Marina from Texas. She's visiting Edmonton, and then after we're supposed to go to the mall, and then we pick up sis Janet as well, and were supposed to go to the mall, but they have to go somewhere, and then sis Janet and I went to the mall and we saw this stuff on sale, right? Like, oh my god, I love this so much. And I was like thinking, no, Eileen, remember you have other plans with this, and I was like, okay, let me sleep on it. And then I was like, oh, it's okay. Even if it's on sale, it's still $100. I was like, oh shoot. But then I know I have a gift card. Let me figure it out. So I went I really, really wanted. And then I went there and it's like, we're just giving an example because this is really not an emergency, guys. And then I went there, I got this card, and they said, oh, you're so lucky because it's 50% off on top of that. And I have like $60, $70 on the card. Like, yes, it's a win. Oh, yeah, I'm just saying you shopping on sale is not an emergency. Okay, guys, I know I can relate to that. Okay, number two. This is the death snowball. I think they use this because psychologically, I think a lot of people get more success doing this than paying off the highest interest because you feel like you're not making progress when you are paying the biggest interest first. So that snowball is like giving you the motivation to keep going because you're seeing results, right? Faster. So let's say you have $2,000. Oh, sorry, debt. So you can start with that. Sorry, guys. Let me just drink. Yeah. So let's say you have 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. So start with the 2,000, and then what's gonna happen is that you're going to put the money that you're putting there, like the biggest amount of money. Then you can move on paying, because they said that, let's say for the 3,000 and 4,000, you're just gonna pay the minimum, right? The minimum, and then you put all the extra money on the first one, and you tackle it first, and after that you're going to go on to the next. But when you fully pay this, that minimum plus the amount that you're paying for the cheapest one, because now it's fully paid, then you put it on the next one, and so on. So
Mm.
that's what a debt snowball is. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. We're moving on to the next step of this money makeover, which is finish the emergency fund. Okay, bro,
Okay,
take it away.
so now we have established that the $1,000 in the initial stage is the starting of the emergency fund. So the next step, which is now doing putting away more for at least your expenses between 3 to 6 months. And for many of us, you know what your expenses are, because all of us, one of the things that all of us does is pay bills. So we are going to look at look at what you pay on a monthly basis, and then you're going to calculate what that expense for that particular month. So if all your bills, and this is just a small portion, if all your bills amounts to $1,000, what we're saying is, which is just a minute example, okay? But all we're saying is that 3 to 6 months emergency fund for your total expenses would be $6,000, because now you're looking at $1,000 in expense for each month, and between 3 to 6 months, we're talking now about, instead of the $1,000, it will now be 3,000 to $6,000, and you put that aside as established now as that emergency fund, and you stay away from it.
Yeah, because if something happened, right? You let go of work. Yeah, we can relate to all of this, right?
Mm.
If you let go, at least you're not getting from another debt, but at least you're gonna get until you find another job. There's something to cover up that
Yes.
time, right? So yeah. Okay, thank you so much. So now we move on to maximize retirement investing. So, they said if you're not done with step two, don't do this. Or one to three, you're not supposed to do this because you are spreading yourself thin, right? And this is when you're done with step one to three. And why you want to do this is you want to not just pay off your bills and your debt, but also give you a chance to become a millionaire. Because the idea of this makeover is not just paying the debt, but also, bringing you up to the millionaire status, right? And Dave Ramsey was saying that you know these steps can make you a millionaire, right? Because what is a millionaire? It's having a net, no, what do you call this, like a net worth of a million, right?
Yes.
So if it's 999,000, then you're not there yet. But he said that if you want to be a billionaire, this is not the steps, right? Something else needs to be done, right? But okay, so maximize retirement is because you need to leverage the what do you call this? The compounding interest, right? Doesn't matter how much you put in or save, as long as you put it diligently, right? Because that's what he said. Like, it doesn't matter how much, as long as you keep going, and you need to calculate. You need to calculate as well. If you want to be a millionaire, okay, how much do I need to invest? And also with this, he said that you need to divide it into four category, right? You need to put it in like a safe investment, and then like those investment that will, give you a big return. But it has to be all 25%. So I think there is like, the safe one, the index fund and stuff like that. Not gonna go deep into it, but it's like, the first two 50% is on safe investments, and then the other 25 and another 25 is to investment that gives you a dividend and gives you it's kind of aggressive. So this way you are aggressive investing. This way you are, protected by the 50%, but the growth of the other 50% is catching up to where you want to be, especially if you're doing this later on in life, because ideally you have to do it as early as possible. But then if you're like us in our like like almost 50, right? Then you have to put more, and then because you cannot catch up with how the other, when they started young, because it's what do you call this, um what do you call this, like the return of it, because some people will put in early on and then will just put in like in 10 years, 16 years, and then they stop investing, and then it will continue to grow
Yes.
because of the what do you call this? I forgot. Because of the the interest, right?
Compound interest.
Compounding interest. But then for us, if we do late, even though it's hard to catch up, honestly. But the goal is to save for retirement. Okay, so that's it. So a lot of people, also we have to think of what kind of retirement do we really want, right? Do you want to have traveling, you want to be traveling, because sometimes people will say, oh, I want over $1 million in in retirement. But maybe your retirement goal is just living in a cottage or something, right? And have a laid back life. For sure you can do away with the smaller retirement um fun. But for other people who likes, to live life like generously and live life to the fullest, they need more retirement fund. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? So I think that's it. Oh, my throat is hurting. Okay, now we move on to this one. Bro, you want to talk about college funding for the children?
Okay, so so the next step after you have save up for your emergency fund and you do investment for your retirement and line up yourself, then the next stage would be now considering saving up for your college fund for your children. And there are different financial institutions that offers, you know, assistance where that is concerned, where you can do the RESPs, which is an educational support fund, which will also attract a 20% from the government as well too. So you can put that in place and make sure you sign up with one of those reputable financial institutions that will assist you in the process, because what they'll do is put you into an agreement that will allow you to automatically put a set amount each month for this fund, and you will put that amount, and at the end of the year you'll also get the additional from the government as well. to balance what you have already saved. For the business person, it might be looking at a different angle because if you are self-employed, then there might be a difference with how you're going to approach that. But you must calculate what it's going to take for your college fund for your children, because you're going to know basically what each course is going to cost them per semester, and you're going to be able to know what the total for the 4 years or the 3 years or the 2 years, depending on the program that you're doing, and you calculate based on that, and you will be able now to understand what needs to be automatically deposited or saved so that you can maintain or be able to fund their college tuitions and fees. So you look at your total college tuition and fees, and then you focus your college funding on that amount, and then you'll be able to put towards the tuition, so that you're in a position that you don't have to be running to and fro trying to find the tuition fees when it is due, but you already have it in place ongoing, so that each year it's there, and you can pull from it instead of scrambling at the last minute to find it.
That's right. It's a very it's a very expensive expense,
Very
right? The
important.
college one, because ideally we want the children to have no debt, right? Ideally. But in the Dave Ramsey makeover, he's saying that, you know what, it's nice of you to fund your children's education, but what you should also focus is on your retirement, because you're getting old, and getting you're having your health is deteriorating as well, and college funding for your children is a good gesture of love. Like, I grew up in a I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's scratching the door.
No, we're not hearing,
Oh,
so it's
good.
okay.
Okay. He's been scratching.
You need
My
to
daughter is
attention.
not letting her in. So anyway, so yeah, it's like a good gesture to be able to provide education for your children. In my culture in the Philippines, the parents one of the parents kind of duty is to make sure that you send your children to university. Like, I was sent by my mom to university,
Amen.
it's always like that. Like, your main goal as a parent is to send your kids to university. And it's like not a gesture, it's like a duty. A
Yes.
duty. But I guess in that culture as well, we are taught to take care of our old parents, because they work so hard for us as well. So I think that's the balance of our culture. But in here in Canada and North America, and I don't know anywhere else other than the Philippines, right? I think it's just good for you if your parents can afford to send you,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? But normally the children here, apply for student loan, right?
Yeah.
And bursaries, and the government provide it for them, right? But oh my goodness, this dog. Um, hold on, guys. Hold on. Like, quickly.
Yeah. So
Come
I'll
here.
just continue.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Because
Okay.
he's so
Breaking
noisy.
transmission.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's really like, but then the children are ending up with college, tuition fee loan, student loan, even before they start working. And they put them behind this trap and wheel. Oh my god, he doesn't want. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what they said. It's good to fund for your children, if you can afford it, but make sure you are, you know, investing for your retirement as well. Okay, we're moving on. So, pay off your mortgage. This, honestly, when I first get into home ownership, and that was before the business, right? I never thought to think differently about this,
Yeah,
honestly. But then being in the business and seeing, like sis, just I saw just sis Elena flashing on my newsfeed and buying their sixth property, right?
wow.
And then buying a new home. It's just crazy amazing. And because of this business, people are able to do this, right? Even
Yes.
this is why we're actually doing this, because a lot of our business partners have managed to pay off their mortgage. And I was like at the beginning of the video of the recorded of Coach Dave and Roxanne's thing. Like the co-host was saying, "Oh, I can smell," because it's like a $700,000 debt, right? All together with the
Yeah.
mortgage. I can smell that there is a mortgage payment here, and she's right, right? Because yeah, they paid off two houses, right? One in the Philippines condo and one here that they recently bought, like what, 3 years, 4 years ago, right? So imagine, usually mortgages are what, 30 to 20, 25 to
Yes.
30 years to pay, but they managed to pay it in what, 4 years, right? Or less. So it's just crazy amazing. So anyway, the sixth step in this money makeover is to pay off your mortgage. And I'm not gonna go into how you're gonna pay it off, but um there are calculations. I'm looking at it right now, but I don't want to do that. um but I think if you really just focus on paying it off, putting extra money on top of your regular ones, if you have, like, I think there is that, what do you call this, like, amount of time that you are allowed to put in more
Yes. Yes.
money, a percentage of us, and just keep going towards it. And also, according to Dave Ramsey, you need to pay, get save up a lot of, like, money for your down payment. This way, your mortgage is gonna be low,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So save as much. And so, and but then some people, because the mortgage is so expensive nowadays too, they opted to just rent. So, but I don't know about that one. But this is, adding to your net worth, right? When you manage to pay off your mortgage. So I'm not going to go over, this, but either you have to save a lot, like 50% of your home,
Yes.
or you could pay it in cash, right? Some people, they save a lot and then buy cash with the money that they save. This way they don't have a monthly payment or monthly mortgage, and it frees them more of their earned income to put it somewhere else. So I think that's where I want to just go with that. Okay, now moving on. Build wealth like crazy and be a generous giver.
So for this one, having established all the different steps, because it's step number 7. It's almost the final step in this process, where it says build wealth. And most of us know what building wealth is. It's accumulating wealth to the extent where we can be at a place where we're no longer worrying about our mortgages, no longer worrying about the college fund, we're no longer worrying about the 3 to 6 months emergency fund, or even the baby step one of the $1,000, because we are now past that stage. What we are where we are now, we're just going to build wealth to the extent where we're in a position where we can build it, as it says, build wealth like crazy. And when you talk about crazy, it means that there's no restriction. It's like a
Yeah.
fox. You light that fox tail and he's running so wild because his tail is on fire. So that's the idea. When you build it like crazy, and in when you do so, you are now putting yourself in a position where you can now start giving back, helping others, doing things that you normally wouldn't be able to do had you not invested or built so much wealth. And it will put you in a position now to be generous and to be with this big word that these millionaires talk about, being a philanthropist, where you can do so much things to help others. You can also bring them to the position where they too understand what you are doing, and to be put in a position to start these 7 steps as well, to put them in the position. So it's like you're duplicating the process with somebody else, and they will be in the position also to be generous as well. And when you reach there, that's a thumbs up stage where you'll
You're
be
free.
smiling.
I think that is when you call it you're free to do whatever you
Yeah,
want, like and give as well. But I think, can you believe it, when you don't have all of this, when all the rest of the 6 steps were done,
yeah,
you're free to do whatever, right?
exactly.
Like, go on a family tree, buy that
Yeah,
diamond ring, right? And give to your favorite charity, and, have no worries. I
yeah,
think the biggest thing is that when we're not there yet, our worry is like very consuming. It's very consuming. We're always on a stress mode because, there's so much bills to pay and we're not ready for retirement and stuff like that. But having followed through all of this, it's a big freedom from the mind, and from, doing whatever you want, and be a generous giver. I get that, right? Okay. So our goal right now, being seeing our mentors and coaches manage to do this, is to really, like, go back to it and, like, okay, can we do what can we do to get to that next level, right? Like, that's so amazing. When I first saw them, it's like, I was saying to Yvonne earlier before we go on this, it's like, oh my God, it was really a manifested vision board, right? I've seen them talk about year after year, and it's really doable when you're really focused. When you're really focused, and of course, the big deal about this is that because of this business, they managed to do that. Because even if they stay in their jobs, I don't think they're gonna earn that much
no,
to be able to cover all those
no,
steps, right? There's no way.
no,
There's no way if they just stay. But don't forget that just a few months into the business, they managed to quit their job. So so that means that everything was coming from the business and not from the job, right? Not from the salary, because even with that, it's impossible. What they were talking yesterday was that they're the what do you call this, the salary or the income is your biggest power, right? Like, what you can do with that will help you to, bring about all of these successes. But you really have to focus on that. And they said, if, your income is your biggest wealth builder, especially in the beginning, and they were saying, we did what we know what we should do, is that, we treated our business like a baby. we fed it. We fed it with our income or whatever side hustle we can do, until you know, it managed to grow on its own, right? Which is really, really incredible. So if you guys are like us, right? Like, you're working harder and harder, and you're getting older and older, like us here, and you're thinking, is there a way to make this happen in this lifetime for, your generation. And you were saying, bro, that, is there anybody in your family, right, who is a millionaire? And they started it. They broke that cycle of
Yes,
struggle, right? And manage to do this. And we are in this business because we want that for ourselves too, because we've seen the results. We've seen it that it's possible. So if you guys are interested, we offer, of course, a complimentary webinar every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And all you have to do to access that webinar on how you can get started with your own digital business is to simply register your name and email on our website right here. And yeah, we hope that you get to do this as well with us.
exactly.
Bro, anything else you want to say before we leave?
Yes, and we're so excited to be in a business that we have coaches that who are leading by example and be able to put themselves in a position to be so successful and be able to mentor us too in on that same part to become successful. So we're inviting you to understand that we're coming into a community that's very supportive, and as coach has said, there's our website, and we're inviting you first of all to our workshop so that you can have an overview of the business, and that's where you're going to start. And then, should you continue from there, then we'll be your mentors and coaches competent and capable of encouraging you, supporting you along your journey to become successful as well. So don't wait, sign up today.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. So yes, so this is where we finish our episode again. And I hope you guys learned a little bit about this. If this is the first time you're seeing the Total Money Makeover, it's amazing. Go check it out. And yeah, register also on our website. And we hope to be of help to you. If this resonates with you, just register. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thanks, bro.